There's a lot to like in terms of this tax relief package, but I remain disappointed. I remain disappointed that even as I see proposals that my caucus advocated for, we were never included in the room when those decisions were made. I'm disappointed in the sight of our record surplus that really, despite claims that this is historic, so little in terms of long-term structural change was made. If you factor out the one-year child tax credit and the temporary relief from motor vehicle fuel tax, and I'm sorry we didn't include diesel, we're looking at tax relief of approximately $300 million. In a $22 billion budget, we're talking 1.5% that we're returning to Connecticut residents. I think we can do better. I know we can do better. I'm disappointed that we didn't take this opportunity while the state is in good fiscal shape to make the kind of structural reforms going forward to ensure our continued economic vitality. The kind of structural reforms we made during the historic 2017 bipartisan budget. And everyone mentions that, but I will stress that again. That bipartisan budget was the result of Republicans, both sides of the aisle, being included in conversations. We saw a Creates report issued that estimated we could save between $700 and $800 million a year through smart restructuring of state government. Faced with a retirement cliff and the opportunity to make changes, the ball was dropped. It wasn't even punted. The ball was dropped. When we debated the latest state employee benefit deal, I asked numerous questions as to whether or not we had used this opportunity to reform state government, to reform our hiring practices. We heard today that it takes 120 days to recruit someone to the Department of Transportation. The Creates report indicated because of our hiring practices, jobs often go vacant because the suitable individuals are really not suited to the job. It can take up to 33 weeks to recruit an individual, and that job is filled in the short term by contractors and consultants. We see managers in the state refusing, or employees in the state refusing promotion to be managers because of our antiquated pay scales. We see duplicative services across departments where consolidation would not only improve our residents' experience, but save real dollars. So, as heartened as I am by some of the changes that we, my side of the aisle, wanted to see in this revenue package, I'm disheartened and disappointed that we were not part of the process and that we did not take the opportunity to achieve the real structural change that means these tax breaks for our residents can continue going forward. And I know I've been told this is a down payment on the future, and once you put this in place, we'll never take it away. But why don't we ensure that the money is always there to keep our promises? And that's where structural change and reform comes through. That's where creating real tax relief. I hope later we can have a discussion about changes to our tax code, reducing tax rates, and other ideas that can be paid for today and paid for in the long term that will provide relief not only to the people getting the child tax credit, the people getting the EITC, but hundreds of thousands, nay, upwards of millions of Connecticut residents who will benefit from those tax changes and the real structural reform this state needs to ensure that the fiscal health we are enjoying today goes forward into perpetuity. And that we owe our residents, and that I am determined to work to achieve. And I know everyone in this chamber wants the same thing, and I hope we can join in this together. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.